Every single transfer made this summer by a Premier League team. Part 1. All prices will be in euros, and players with super low values will not be included. And don't forget to subscribe and like. First up is Bournemouth. Bournemouth saw their team taken apart. The big ones included Zabarni to PSG, Hoyson to Real Madrid, Kirkes to Liverpool, and Ouattara to Brentford. Other outgoings include Sinisterra to Cruzeiro, Jadon Anthony to Burnley, Philip Billing to Danish club Midtjylland, Mark Travers to Everton, Chris Mentham to West Brom, Naito Onafri to Botafogo, and Daniel Jebison on loan to Preston. To replace these outgoings, they acquired centre-back Diakite from Lille, goalkeeper Petrovic from Chelsea, versatile attacker Amin Adli from Leverkusen, left-back Truffert from Rennes, and right-back Jimenez from AC Milan. They also signed young prospect centre-back Milosevic from Red Star and Ben Doak from Liverpool. Next up, Arsenal. Partey, Jorginho, and Tierney left on a free. Tomiyasu quit Arsenal. Zinchenko left the Arsenal bench, joined the Forest one. Vieira departed to Hamburg on loan. Kiwior went to Porto on an obligation to buy. Finally, Nelson went to the Brentford Hospital. Arsenal went big this summer. They signed Zubimandi 6 times from Sociedad, Eze from under the noses of Tottenham, freed Gyökeres from Sporting, overpaid Chelsea for Madueke, underpaid Valencia for Mosquera, robbed Brentford of Norgard, signed 2-time Champions League winner Kepa, and stole Hincapie from the Leverkusen charity. Aston Villa. Aston Villa had a quiet window. They sold midfielder Jacob Ramsey to Newcastle, loaned Leon Bailey to Roma, many players off on a free including Alex Moreno, Robin Olsen, and Coutinho? Oh yeah, he's still at the club. Prospects Enzo Beranche and Samuel Idling Jr. was loaned out. Aston Villa were heavily restricted by PSR and FFP. However, they still signed some players. They signed attacker Evan Guesson from Nice and Bizot from Brest. They loaned in Harvey Elliott and freedom fighter Jadon Sancho. They also signed Uncle Lindelof on a free. Brentford. Brentford sold many key players. They sold Mbuemo to Manchester United, Johan Wissa to Newcastle, Captain Norgard to Arsenal, Mark Flecken to Leverkusen, and Ben Mee left on a free to go to Sheffield. Other players including Mads Rodoslav and Josh Da Silva also departed the club. Many people predicted Brentford to be relegated this season, so they had to recruit well. To replace Wissa, they signed Ouattara from Bournemouth, and Mbuemo was replaced by Milambo from Feyenoord. Keller was sick of being an Alisson's shadow and joined to replace the departing Flecken. Henderson came on a free to replace Norgel. Left back, Coyote's loan deal was made permanent, and Reece Nelson escaped from the hospital signed for Brentford. Brighton. Brighton lost a lot of players this summer, so I'll just fire through them all. João Pedro, Adingra, Estupinian, Barco, Enciso, Lamptey, Sima, Sherpin, and Afia all got permanent moves elsewhere. Evan Ferguson, Bruno Notte, Matt O'Reilly, Igor Julio, Malik Yakuge, Ibrahim Osman, Aaron Cashin, and Jeremy Sarmiento were all loaned out. Brighton had a bloated squad, so they sold way more than they bought. They signed 18-year-old Greek wonder kid Charalampos Kostoulas from Olympiacos, left-back Belgium international Maxime de Kuiper from Club Bruges, 19-year-old left-winger Tom Watson from Sunderland, centre-back Diogo Coppola from Verona. They also signed Bosagli from PSV on a free.
It's always bloody Burnley!
Burnley sold keeper James Trafford to Manchester City, midfielder Han Noah Massing to Augsburg, centre-back Egan Riley and Josh Brownhill left on a free to join Marseille and Al Shabab in Saudi Arabia respectively. Luka Kolyosho, Aaron Ramsey, and Benson Manuel were all loaned out. Burnley signed 3 players from Chelsea, Ugo Chukwu, Armando Broja, and Humphreys. They also signed Lum Shuna from Lazio, Hartman from Feyenoord, Marcus Edwards from Sporting. They also signed Kyle Walker, Tuan Zebe, Dubravka, Jadon Anthony, Dion Fleming, Jacob Brun Larson, and Max Weiss. In addition, they added Florentino Luis from Benfica on a loan obligation. Chelsea. This is going to take a while. Chelsea broke the Premier League record for most sales. They sold Madueke, Nkunku, João Felix, Petrovic, Ugo Chukwu, Dewsbury Hall, Renato Vega, Armando Broja, Carney Chukwuemeka, Matthias Amugu, Bashir Humphreys, Kepa Bettinelli, and Alfie Gilchrist. Additionally, several players were loaned out, including Nicholas Jackson, Mamadou Sarr, Mike Penders, Kendry Paez, and El Salminio. Ben Chilwell and Lucas Bergstrom also left on a free. Chelsea only spent $300 million this summer compared to the billion they usually do. They signed João Pedro from Brighton, young wingers Jamie Gittins, Alejandro Garnacho, and Estevao. They signed striker Liam Delat from Ipswich, left-back Joro Hato from Ajax, midfielder Dario Esugo from Sporting. They also signed Kendry Paez and Mamadou Sarr, but immediately loaned them out. They loaned in Cole Palmer backup Buenadote from Brighton as their last act of the transfer window. Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace had very few outgoings this window. They sold Eberechi Eze to Arsenal and Odson Edouard to Lens. Rob Holding, Jeffrey Schlupp left on a free. Matheus França was loaned out. Despite playing in Europe, Crystal Palace signed very few players. They signed winger Yeremy Pino from Villarreal and a center back JD Convat from Toulouse. They also signed left back Borna Sosa from Ajax and Walter Benitez on a free from PSV. They finished the transfer window by signing Christiantos Uche from Getafe on a loan. Everton. Everton had a massive clear-out. Yusuf Trimidi and Neil Maupay were sold. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Doucouré, Holgate, João Virginia, Ashley Young, Begovic all left on a free. Everton signed attackers Tyler Dimbling and Thierno Barry from Southampton and Villarreal, respectively. They signed midfielders Carlos Alcaraz from Flamengo and Dewsbury Hall from Chelsea. They then signed Bayern left-back Adam Asnou. The biggest move of them all was bringing Jack Grealish on loan from Manchester City. The Toffees hope that Grealish can replicate what he did for them at Aston Villa. Fulham. Fulham sold midfielder Andreas Pereira to Palmeiras and winger Martial Godot to Strasbourg. Both Willian and Carlos Vinicius left on a free to join Gremio. Several players went on a loan, including Stephen Benda to Millwall and Luke Harris to Oxford United. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and don't forget to subscribe.